Hi, in this class we're going to look at communication interfaces and protocols. We're going to look at what communication interfaces are, where they're used, what are different types of interfaces, and what protocols are, how they work. So let's get started with the class.
So what are communication interfaces and where are they used? Here we have the motherboard of a mobile phone. You can see a number of components on this board. There is a charging IC, there is a RTC real-time clock IC, there is a power IC, you have a network IC, you have a RX filter, you have the CPU here, then you have the RAM IC, flash IC. Now there are a lot of electronic components in any simple system, your mobile phone or your camera, any electronic system. There are a number of components, and these components have a very specific functionality. Like each of these components bring in a specific functionality, and the CPU communicates with each of these components to make use of those functionalities and get some information from these components. Now this is where communication interfaces come into play. Communication interfaces define the mechanism, hardware mechanism of how the communication happens. Next, we have types of interfaces. Interfaces is nothing but hardware configuration designed for communication. Now here we have two basic types of communication. You can see we have parallel communication here and we have serial communication. In parallel communication, data is always transferred as bits. We know that. So here you can see there are 8 bits here. There are 8 data lines. So the LSB is bit 0 and MSB is bit 7. In addition to the data lines, there is a clock line. So this is a transmitter and this is a receiver. Now the transmitter, what it will do is it will take a byte of data and put it across as bits and then send a signal on the clock line. The receiver will keep monitoring the clock line, and as soon as it receives a pulse on the clock line, it will go and read the data on these lines. Now this parallel communication was very popular long back, but parallel communication is not used anymore, not used much anymore. So because you can see that the number of lines is, there are a lot of lines and there could be synchronization errors. Maybe when the receiver is trying to read each of this one by one, the transmitter has already changed the information, so there could be loss of information. There are a lot of challenges around parallel communication. Now in serial communication, you can see that there is one line, one data line and one clock line. The clock line works in a similar fashion, but the data line, if you look at it, the data line is sending all the 8 bits serially, one after the other. It first sends out the LSB and the MSB is sent last. So maybe this line could be like one could mean a high signal on this line could mean a 1 and a low signal could be 0. There are a number of variations. That's what protocols define. So serial communication means serial data sent out serially, one bit at a time. Most of the time it's LSB is sent first and MSB is sent last. If there is a device which expects it otherwise, you will note from the data sheet of the device, either you have to send the MSB first or the LSB first. There are a lot of variations possible in this. Again, there is a clock signal which is sent from the transmitter to the receiver. The receiver will read the signal and then read this line. So these are the two types of communication. Now, majority of the communication we have today fall under serial communication. Like we have UART communication, then we have SPI, which stands for Serial Peripheral Interface, and we have I2C, which is Inter-Integrated Chip Communication. Then we have USB communication, which we all know. We have CAN, Control Area Network, which is a communication interface for automobiles, used extensively in automobiles. And then we have wireless communication. We have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, infrared. All of these are serial communication interfaces. They all send out data serially, but they might have additional lines for synchronization and data verification. Now, what are protocols? Protocols are a set of rules for communication that ensure that two systems are able to communicate information, without losing information. If you the definition here says communication protocol is a system of rules that allows two or more entities of a communication system to transmit information via any kind of variation of physical quantity. Variation of physical quantity means the variation in signals, which could be the duration for which the signal is there or the frequency at which the signal is produced, any of that. The protocol defines the rules, the syntax, the semantics and synchronization of communication and possible error recovery methods. We're going to look at these protocols in detail when we work with IR communication later on. For the moment, we are going to look at a simple serial protocol and how it actually works. So this is the serial interface and protocol overview. You can see that this is how data is communicated. We saw this is the letter A, capital A, which is nothing but this is the binary equivalent of A in the reverse order. You need to read it in the reverse order. You can see this is a hexa value of 4, 1. So this is being sent here. Now, in any communication protocol, there are a protocol defines as to how data has to be sent. Like for example, how data has to be communicated. In this case, we can see there is a start bit. The start bit means the receiving system will know that it is going to receive some kind of a data and it will start monitoring the line. And then there is the data bits. This is nothing but the 8 bits of data. And then you have the parity bit. We'll come to what parity bit is. And then there is a stop bit. So start bit, stop bit, data bits and parity bits. All these are constituents of a packet. So all these define as to what is sent out from one system to another. Now, what should be the length of start bit, how it should be, all of this is defined by the protocol. Now you have a RS-232 interface for this here. So RS-232 is a serial interface which was used, which is still being used, which used to be very popular, but it's getting replaced by USB communication these days. So this is nothing but if you've seen on the old computers, you would have something like something that looks like a VGA connector, a 9-pin connector on the side. So that is the RS-232 interface. Now if you look at it, this line is being idle here. Then the start bit is nothing but the start of information. There is a pulse where this line, when this line is idle, it's being maintained at minus 12 volts. And when the start bit is being communicated, it goes to plus 12 volt. And then 1 is communicated by maintaining minus 12 volt. And then the zeros are communicated by maintaining plus 12 volts. Again, the 1 is communicated by maintaining minus 12 volt and the 0 is communicated by a plus 12 volt. And then the parity bit and the stop bit are both ones in this case, and so it is being maintained at minus 12 volt. Now if you look at it, what a protocol defines is this: for what duration you should maintain this signal at plus 12 volts is what a protocol defines. Should you maintain, now this looks like a neat square wave, but it could be a pulsed wave, meaning which this square has to be maintained at certain frequency. So we'll look at all of that later on. But if you understand, this is again what a protocol defines. It defines what should be the length of a start bit. Can it be a single bit? Can it be a longer duration than the data bit? What is the variation between a start bit and a data bit? What is the variation between a start bit and a stop bit and a parity bit? All of this is what a protocol defines. Now, parity bit. What is a parity bit? So parity bit is used for data security. Let's assume or error prevention. Let's say error prevention. See, in this case, we are using a single line for communication. What if one of the ones gets missed? How do we know if one is missed or not? So there are concepts of odd parity and even parity, which is again defined depending upon the protocol. So what this parity bit does is, in this case it's an odd parity. Let's take this example. So there is an odd number of ones. Okay, this parity bit will count the number of ones in the data, and if it is even, then this will add one bit and make this odd. That's why it's called an odd parity. In case of an even parity, in the protocol, then it will count the number of bits. In case this were an even parity bit, this would become 0. This would not be a 1, this would be 0. The parity bit would also be 0 because it's already even. So I hope you're clear on the parity bit. We'll look at more of this. So these are some of the concepts which you need to understand. Data is always sent out LSB first, if you look at it. So 1 is nothing but 0001, you can see 0001, and 4 is 100, which is you can see 0100. So you should read it like this and never like this when looking at a serial communication line. So we'll look at more of this. So that's the end of this class. So the next lesson is going to be I2C interface. We'll look more on to how to work with I2C. Thank you.